Hey guys, Chairman here, back with another Locals feature live match with commentary by yours truly. This is at a new card shop that I've been working with. This is our first Weiss official sanctioned event at the shop, first monthly tournament. So we're really excited to be at this new location with some new players. So yeah, just really excited getting a new shop started. This looks like it is going to be Sword Art Online on the left, playing against Kaguya with set 2 on the right. Alright, so Kaguya opens up with the Hayasaka Runner. Pretty good card from set 2. Pretty good turn 1 play, also a great turn 2 play with the draw Reiki effect. And on the left it's Sword Art Online. This is potentially going to be the best deck when it comes out in the English meta. We do not have the 10th anniversary cards in English, but I think the 10th light novel anniversary in English, but I think just the anime 10th annie cards are enough to make the deck super consistent and super viable. So plays three cards, tri-lane, doesn't get the Reiki effect off of the Alice, but the Asanas are played just to mill and try to dig for events. So that Asana is pretty crazy, honestly. It just gets 2k power for like no reason. And then also Kome for events, just like Hestia, top 3 at an event. Yeah. So yeah, Sword Art Online player here, tri-laning to kill the Hayasaka Runner, and also because hand advantage isn't really important in that deck because you plus so much once you hit the Alice combo. Because the Alice combo, you get the cards on the field for free with the Alice 1-0 Brainstorm, and then the Alice actually has a climax combo itself, so as long as you have the choice in hand, you can get even more advantage. Like you basically can go into that turn with like very few cards in your hand and end with like a full hand. So yeah, it's like you plus so much. So it is pretty in your favor to play level 0 aggressively, attack as much as possible, mill as much as possible to get your first deck down to a very small size, so you can use the 1-0 Alice Brainstorm to actually get 2 analysis on the board. And Kaguya is playing the new 3500 attacker. Honestly, that card's really good, but you kind of have to make sure you don't commit too many of the Kaguya onto the field because then you miss your condition. But it looks like he's fine here and will probably just attack 2 times. Could consider playing a Hayasaka just to draw an extra card. I think he's considering it. It's a little unfortunate. It doesn't seem like he has combo here, which is kind of where he wants to be at because he's level 1, so would like to climax combo here but doesn't seem to have it, so instead we'll just have to settle with attacking 3 times with level 0s. That was really unfortunate. Keeps his opponent at level 0 though, which is like, I think that's potentially good for the Kaguya player, because I don't know if Sora can necessarily answer 2 3500 attackers, because since they've already played 2 of the Asana level 0s, it's possible. Oh, I guess with the Reiki. Oh, I guess he could just Reiki into Reiki here if he really wants to hit level 1. Oh no, but just finds another Asana. Okay, that's really good. Yeah, Reiki just finds Asana and then Asana's 4k, so it beats over 3500 Kaguya. Honestly, if the Sora player gets to kill the entire board for Kaguya, then I think the Sora player is just like vastly ahead at this point. Just super far ahead in damage. Also, really deck stage like really good. Yeah, good deck condition. Oh my gosh, just double Rikis here. I think the second Riki is probably just gonna get a 1-0 Alice then. Deciding on the level up here. Would you not just level up yellow? I guess. Oh yeah. Okay, that's a 1-0 Alice. So maybe he's just wondering if he wants to level up though, 1-0 Alice or not. But looks like he goes for it anyways, and then I think that's another. Yeah, that looks like another 1-0 Alice to me. So yeah, this makes sense. Riki for the 1-0 Alice. I'm not sure if the Kaguya player has any answer for 2-1 Alice. Like 2-1 Alice is really big, and then the Kaguya, like the beaters aren't big enough to attack over. So, or they're not big enough to attack over after counter, and then with memory counter, the hand-on cores just get sent to memory, so you can't even hand-on core. It's like really sad. Decide on the mill. Oh, yeah, just mill all the way here. Oh, he's adding the event. What event is that? I actually can't tell. Was that one of the new events? That might be one of the new events. If I can't recognize it. See if I can find it. Yeah, I'm pretty excited for this set to come out in English. I'll probably get it because it looks like a pretty strong standalone set. Also has Mito, who is my favorite character from the Progressive movies. I watched the Progressive movies pretty recently, like last month, both of them. And then did not realize that Mito is voiced by Minase Inori until like basically halfway through the movie. And I was like, man, this character sounds really good and also really familiar. And then eventually it clicked that it was Minase Inori, who's one of my favorite voice actors. And so I was like, whoa, I like Miko a lot. And she has a ponytail. Yeah, she's pretty great. So that got me really interested in the anime anniversary set because, yeah, Mito's my favorite character. But then after looking at the set and just like realizing the set is kind of goated, I am now interested in actually playing the entire set because the set just really good. Also, the Alice combo is like really strong here too. So, okay, looks like Kaguya player does get to keep one of the level 0 Kaguyas, which is like way better than I initially expected. And looks like he will be able to drop search. Looks like he's going to drop search into level 1 combo, so hopefully he has a standby hand here to be able to get some kind of advantage back. Didn't take too much damage there, which is good. We'll see if he combos here. Yeah, he does have the standby in hand. Oh, he has a lot of climaxes in hand. Not a really good situation to be in. Yeah, I think I would probably try to search something that can help get rid of the excessive amounts of climaxes in the hand. So potentially the Riko. So I forgot her name. Nagisa. There we go. Yeah, the Nagisa. Ditch a climax and then kind of hope that you hit a level 1 or higher off the top check. If you don't hit a level 1 or higher, it's kind of doomed because I don't think you have really good ways to sculpt afterwards. But just like the player has just way too many climaxes in hand, I think you kind of have to go for it. And Nagisa is just also another attacker, which is good. I think this is probably the correct line. And just hopefully if he hits the level 1 or higher, he'd be in a decent spot. Yeah, I mean, this is already like overwhelmingly favored for Sword Art. So, yeah. Pretty good for that player here. So yeah, like I was saying, the Sword Art deck is like really good. I think even with only anime anniversary cards, I think it's playable. You have a lot of mill. Like basically the only cards that you would want that is only in 10th anniversary, or sorry, that is only in the light novel is the level 0s. Like every card above level 1 is either already in the deck or it's like in a previous set that exists in English. And the only cards that you really want are at level 0 from the light novel set. Like the Kirito Chiruis and... Oh, it looks like he's going for the spammable Brainstorm here. Interesting option. I think the Nagisa is better in the sense that it is an attacker and also gets climaxes out of your hand guaranteed. I think the spammable Brainstorm might be safer, but it's also just more of like a how do you say it, like if this doesn't work out, you're like really doomed. And even if it does work, you're like wasting a bunch of resources to kind of like fix your situation, but you're already kind of so far behind. You kind of need to sack. Like I would have just gone for the Nagisa and then just like just try to sack, because like if you don't sack here, you're basically doomed. Like there's nothing you can do. You're so far behind. Like I would just try to go for the Nagisa sack. but this is not the worst situation to be in. He does have enough cards to attack with. Looks like he has double combo in hand, which is pretty good. Yeah, double combo is not bad. Okay, and then he gets to do the bounce back and then summon out a level 2. So probably summoning out 2 Ishigami here, I would imagine. Yep. You could also summon out 1/1 Kaguya and then try to summon out the 2 Ishigami when you trigger your standby, like later. Just depends on if he has another 2 Ishigami in the waiting room or not. If he has another 2 Ishigami in the waiting room, then this is fine. Otherwise, I would probably prioritize standing out the does he not have power condition? Oh, he doesn't have power? Oh my. Did he? Oh, he doesn't have enough cards in hand. That's so sad. I mean, you pop. Yeah, I was like, you're gonna search. Oh, he doesn't even have a standby in deck. He only has a door. That's so unfortunate. I guess the worst thing here is if he doesn't trigger the door or marker the door. Like, if he doesn't trigger the door here, he's actually kind of doomed. Oh my goodness. Wait, why would you... wait, why would you... wait, just keep the marker. Wait, you don't have to sack the marker. Wait, just keep the marker. It's just compression. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. As I was saying, you don't get the +1 because your last card's climax, but you do get the climax that you played going back in, and in an ideal situation, you would have kept the marker. It's just free compression, and then if they somehow don't kill the Kaguya, or if you can counter it, you can always get the reverse or the kill and then the search later. I mean, it's just a free +1 compression. It's not the biggest of deal, but you can definitely just keep the marker. You don't have to pop the marker. I'm pretty sure you don't have to pop the marker. It should be optional. Let me double check. Where's the card? Alright, I mean, as I am double checking, I expect this Sword Art player to just be setting up Alice shenanigans. So, alright, when this card's battle opponent is reversed, you may pay the cost. Yeah, you don't have to pay it. You can keep the marker if you want. Okay, so using Administrator. So Administrator is one of the easy ways for the Sword Art deck to mill down to ideal numbers. And I can kind of give the math here if I want to. I'm not going to go too much into depth on like exactly how Alice math works, but basically you want 1 Alice for every 3 cards ideally, and then you also want to mill down to 4 cards left in deck so that you can climax combo and the climax can go back in. So basically whatever the combination of that ends up being is what you want for the deck state. And then flexible mill with cards like the Administrator is what allows this deck to be so powerful. Administrator is also costless, which is like, it's crazy. Like, I can't believe this card is costless. And it gets rid of itself on the board. So it's like even better than something like the Mikey, which is like you clock from your hand. Like if Mikey set itself to clock to do the top check up to your opponent's characters, or to top check 5, I guess it's the Mikey's 5. If Mikey was set itself to clock to top check 5, Mikey would be so good. It would be so good. Alright. First brainstorm hits 1 Alice. He just needs to hit 1 more Alice here, and then he's being chilling. Okay. Hits the second Alice. He is being chilling. Does he go for the third one? I wonder. I mean, he still can. So you can see he has 4 cards left in deck. So he has 2 options. Okay, he is going for the brainstorm just to get the third Alice out, which is fine. You could also just stop there and just do 2 Alice to get the climax back. But yeah, I think if he has 4 cards, you would just triple Alice. Triple Alice is just way better. And it's also on climax placement. So even though you don't get the climax going back in, you still get all 3 Alice effects. So that's a ton of stock. And then more importantly, it's a ton of hand. Because you're still paying 1 stock to get the Alice onto the board by brainstorming. But because you don't have to pay the card from your hand, you basically just get to plus like a bajillion here. Yep. Alice is such a good combo. This card is crazy. This card is so crazy. It's 10k base, and then has the climax combo, and then can be summoned at level 1. And then also has an additional 1k because the 1-0 Alices are global 500. So it's 11k base at level 1. And climax combos. Like what? It's kind of insane. It's actually a huge blessing for the deck that Alice is exactly 2-1 and not 2-2. Because if it was a 2-2, even though it would be, like, I guess, stronger stat-wise, it would just be so much harder to play from hand at level 2. But the fact that it's a 2-1 means that, like, even if you, like, get your level 1 skipped or whatever, or, like, you don't get to do this crazy nut setup, you can just triple Alice, like, hard from hand at level 2, and you're still, like, in a good situation. Like, you still get all the stock back from playing the Alices from the combo, and you just get all the hand back too. So it's like still super value to like hard play. It's like valuable to hard play the Alices, basically. All right, Alice combo, and then also being able to play climax and then still swing 1 soul so that you're not like over swinging for like too much damage is great. Yeah, takes the 4 here. Very unfortunate, but I mean his deck state is just not very good. Kaguya's deck state is not in a good position right now. They didn't really get to combo too much. Only got 1 search off, and so I think he's just bleeding a lot of resources at this point. It's a little bit of a doomed game. I don't think Kaguya has a lot of comeback mechanics at this point. Not the standby deck. The standby deck is very like snowball oriented, where you get 1 advantage and then you snowball that into like another advantage, into another advantage, which is why the 3-2 Shirogane used to be like the fallback for this deck. It was honestly a pretty good fallback because like even if you were losing at level 2, you would just drop a 3-2 Shirogane, and then that card would win you the lane, and then it would also not die, or it would win another lane the following on your opponent's turn, because your opponent would either crash into it or bomb it. But even if they bomb it, they're losing that lane. So you win like 2 lanes with the Shirogane, and then that kind of was like a catch-up mechanic for the deck. But Shirogane was just not very good card now, especially. So I think like you just don't really have the room to like go for the Shirogane and all the other cards all the other effects that you want to do. So the set 2 build for Standby Door is like way more snowbally than the set 1, because like you're more dependent on using the Hayasaka to change into your Kaguyas for the level 2 heal, and also just like snowball your board. But then like if you don't get this Hayasaka out, then it's like so much worse, right? Yeah, so alright, we'll see what he does. We'll see what card he sacks here. I mean, I'm guessing he just sacks as a brainstorm here. Yeah, he just kind of has to do it. Because, like, I mean, if you sack the 2-2, it's so sad. Yeah, so looks like he's going to add the 2-1 event to hand. Huh. I mean, he's already, like, down so much. I don't know if the 2-1 event's gonna fix anything here. He just really needs to get advantage. So this is one of the things where like if the Kaguya deck is behind and is not able to snowball, like one of your only ways to like get advantage is the 1-1. The 1-1 resonate Kaguya. I like always prioritize that card because like that's just the only way you get hand advantage. If you don't trigger, that's like the only way. And so like without that card, you just start losing hand like super quickly, and you just lose all your other resources as well. So it's just quite unfortunate. I think that's one of the key things about this deck. You just have to understand what kind of deck it is. I think Kaguya is just very snowbally deck when you're playing standby. You just kind of need to get the lead early, and you have to play fairly aggressively in order to get the lead in terms of like building your resources, but also fairly conservatively in terms of like you want to hit level 1 first. If you let your opponent hit level 1 and they develop like a huge board that you can't reverse, then like yeah, it's pretty bad. You just kind of don't get to do anything. But then if you hit level 1 and you're not ready, like you don't have setup, then it's also pretty bad, because then like you don't get to do anything. You kind of saw that this game, like hit level 1, didn't have climax, so basically yeah. So now like you have to use the Hayasaka runner to get cards, which is like so feels bad. You do not want to be doing this effect at level 2, much less when you're behind a full level at level 2. But you know, you can't really do anything about that at this point. He does have a second standby. I think he will be using the standby here. Yeah, playing the Hayasaka just to get the power on the bounce back, and then probably going to be standbying out the Hayasaka. Hayasaka, good card. Yeah, deck is really good when it gets like the important cards and important pieces, but it is, because it's so momentum based, I don't really like it as like a top choice. Like if you get too far behind, it's very hard to catch back up with this deck, which is why I prefer playing the 8 pants build, because the 8 pan build is like way more resource, how do I say it, you just generate resources a lot more flexibly in that build, and you don't need to, you can come back from deficits way easier. It's also easier to control deck state, so you don't get screwed as much. It's kind of nice. So I'm pretty sure that 2 of these Alices is gonna live. Alright, so like this Ishigami is what, 10k? So it's already just smaller. I don't know where he gave the bounce back power to, but I can imagine that Sora player definitely has like counters in hand. So he could probably counter one, if not both of these Alices, which is very sad. But I mean, so both the 3-2 Kaguya and the 2-2 Ishigami are 10k base, and he did give the bounce back somewhere, so that one is over, but then the other one isn't. So looks like he's gonna front attack here, choose to salvage. I mean, you just, yeah, you either salvage the 1-1 here if you want to try to like go for advantage, or you salvage the 3-2 if you feel like you just need to stabilize. But I would have salvaged the 1-1 probably. You kind of need advantage. If you don't have advantage, it's really bad. Oh, he's siding? He's siding? Why would you side? Wait, why would you side? Why would you side? I'm so confused. What's the point of siding? You're not gonna win if you don't do damage. Siding is just opting to lose. It is the TSM strat of do nothing and lose. Okay, sorry, no league references. But like, the Ishigami is tiny on defense. What's gonna happen to it? It's gonna die. Why would you side the Ishigami? What? 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 That's such a weird play. You got the Ishigami for free because you standbyed it out, so you didn't spend any weird resources on it. It has 2 soul. Just front attack and do damage. You're not gonna win if you don't do damage. Weiss is like primarily a game about damage now, especially because of the way resource game works. You have so much stock, my Kaguya friend. You have so much stock and a Hayasaka on board. Just do damage. See, this is the problem with Kaguya. Like, if you don't have the 1-1, you just don't have hand, right? And just like unfortunate. But like, let's say he had the 1-1 here, he'd be able to get hand, obviously at the cost of like his stock. Situation is not going to be good, but that's fine. Okay, so our player just using the brainstorm to mill out here, I guess. That's pretty funny. Is there something that he's trying to hit specifically, or he's just milling out? I mean, he had like a decent number of climaxes in the deck still. I'm just kind of curious why he was deciding to mill out there, but yeah, he could just mill out. Like, he hit like a bunch of climaxes at the start, right? But maybe the rest of his deck is clean. I don't know. If he doesn't have if he has a climax in hand, he should okay, so if he has a climax in hand, he should like do some kind of modular mill to mill down to 4 and then play the climax. If he doesn't have a climax in hand, he would just, yeah, play. Okay, so he's gonna do the 1-1 event. Search a card out of his deck, whether there's modular mill 1, and then maybe if he can mill another card, then he's in a good situation. Does the Lifa mill a card? I don't think it mills. It's just a top check salvage thing, right? Oh, card from hand to stock. That's kind of nice. Yeah, so no, he's just, okay, so he's just using the event modular mill 1, and then he's gonna combo, and then Going to end turn with 2 cards left in the deck. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, this is kind of like the stupidity of Alice. It's like if Pachin had a climax combo that gave advantage. It's crazy. Yeah, the fact that the Alice combo gives stock is what I think it pushes it over the edge the most. Because like, if it was just hand or something, I think it wouldn't be that bad. Because then it's like, okay, you're like getting hand, but you're already like plussing hand from the whole like 1021 package. So like the hand isn't really that valuable. The stock is so valuable because the stock is just translates to straight up more mill. You just get to mill more because you have the 1-0 brainstorms in back row already. So like it's like what he can do in this game. He just pays a bunch of stock, he just mills a bunch. Like that's like an issue with the Pachin deck where it's like once you have their board and they don't die, it's like, oh, this sucks. I want to mill, but like I can't really mill very profitably, and then I just like you can't do anything. But then Alice is just like, yeah, I just have a ton of stock, so. And then gets a direct for 3 with climax. It's so stupid. Front for 2. Wow, these are good cancels. Whoa, Kaguya player with some good cancels here. Okay, maybe not that one. But see, like he canceled the Ishigami swing on 2. He could have just fronted the Ishigami swing and dealt damage with the Ishigami swing. Okay. I can't be too upset. But I mean, that's just, you know, you're just playing to not lose versus playing to win. And then not losing never works in Weiss. Either you win or you die. That's Weiss. There's no such thing as like playing to not lose in Weiss. Except when you're playing like very specific decks. But like that's like the decks that are geared towards that. Not necessarily like the playstyle, right? So like Standby Melody is a great example. And Charlotte is the other great example. Of like, you're playing to not lose in those decks, but that's because your deck has unfair ways to allow you to not lose. Like anti-burn. Specifically anti-burn. And also just anti-soul. Charlotte is anti-front. So like, there's ways for you to not lose, and they're like explicitly unfair. But like, the whole idea of like, oh, I'm just gonna side here because I want to keep this card on board is like, most of the time is not a good is not a good move, especially if you're behind. If you're behind on damage, you should always just be fronting because like you're behind and you need to do more damage to your opponent that they need to do to you in order to win. So like, you should be fronting unless you are confident that there's a way for you to come back later in the like, even though you're siding. But like that just almost never happens. Well, you just have to identify what kind of deck you're playing, what your deck's options are, what available options you have in the matchup. That determines whether or not you should take a risk. Right? Fronting is a risk. I'm not saying it's not a risk. You're definitely opening yourself to potentially more damage, but like, it's a risk you need to take because otherwise you just do no damage. Yeah, I think obviously I think this game is already pretty doomed. But like, you know, like you can at least play to your outs. So yeah, but this game is pretty doomed though, I will say. Finally plays the 1/1 Kaguya at level 3. That's when you know it's pretty veg. At least has the resonance. Is he gonna check 3 here? I guess you can just check 3. Check 3 to get the climax out. That makes sense. Yeah, just the 3/2. You just get the 3/2 here. 3/2 gives the stock back and is a 2-soul beater, so you might as well. Oh, you have to show it. You have to reveal the card. Okay, thank you. Oh man, this is rough. Unfortunate for the Kaguya player. Definitely, like, I think if the Kaguya player got a lead early on, this matchup could be more competitive, but unfortunately, this is a bit of a one-sider. Usually I don't like to upload one-sider content to my channel because it's just kind of depresso to watch, and there's not too much you can learn from it. But I think in this one, there's a bit of stuff you could get. I think just like the whole idea of like risk reward, I think is pretty important. And I think just like, yeah, talking about the Kaguya deck as a snowball deck, like recognizing that you need a snowball is really important, because then like that just makes you play a little bit differently early game. Like you prioritize different things and stuff like that. I think before I played this Kaguya deck, but when I was learning this Kaguya deck, it was like pretty rough because there's just the games where I play very safe, and then when I play safe with the deck and I don't try to get an early lead or an early advantage in the early setup, then the deck just kind of loses and just like shits itself. Right, but the games where you're like really trying to get that early advantage and snowball and identifying like what you need to do in order to snowball, it's just gone way better. So yeah, just like kind of knowing how to play the deck is important, and the identity of the deck. But yeah, in any case, I mean, this turn's actually not that bad for the Kaguya player. The Kaguya player can actually heal twice here, and without using too many resources, because he can do the Hayasaka change here to get the second heal. And then even if he doesn't combo, it's like still pretty good because you get double healer in front of the 1/1, which is actually going to challenge the Alice's, although they don't win, which is pretty sad. Like if the Alice player has counters, then Alice player actually is still bigger because they're 11k base, counters up to 14 depending on what counter you're using. So that's kind of crazy. But yeah, at least the Kaguya player gets to heal down to the 3-0 here. It's pretty good. Yeah, I like to prioritize the 1/1 back row in the Kaguya deck just because I think you really do need to snowball and maintain your hand, like, because you want to stop clocking at level 2 at some point. Otherwise, like, you're just dealing damage to yourself every turn to like maintain your advantage. So yeah, I think I would prioritize standbying the 1/1 back row over the 2/2. Like if I play a standby in that deck, I'm always standbying 1/1, and then I'm only standbying 2/2 if like I trigger a standby or if it's like my second turn at 1 or something. That's just my playstyle. I don't know if it's right or not, but it is what I do. So I think right now the Kaguya player is deciding whether or not they want to change into the Kaguya versus changing into the, or sorry, which Kaguya they're thinking about changing into. So they can change into the healer Kaguya, heal down to 3-0, but then that means that their Kaguyas are potentially, oh, what the heck is he doing? The Kaguyas are potentially at risk of, of dying and being killed. But then okay, so he decides to change into Kaguya anyways. It's kind of interesting. Oh, has a standby here? Okay, wait, has a gate. Alright, sorry, the door. Yeah. Okay, so he does do combo here. Okay, so the good thing about this play with the combo is that now the Kaguyas are huge, because the Kaguya's climax combo does give them an extra 2k power, which is very significant, and allows them to pretty much beat over the Alice's even after combo or counter. Alright, so Kaguya's 9-5 base, 11 with the back row, 12 with climax, and then with combo is 14. So you actually get over if the unless it's 3-5 counter, and I'm pretty sure Sword Art doesn't play 3-5 counter, so you're pretty much guaranteed to be over or tie, and I think it's not worth it to tie in that situation. So pretty nice, pretty nice. That was good that he had the climax here. All right, refresh point. Ooh, that's a pretty spicy refresh point there. Actually, like potentially lethal here. This is lethal range, which is kind of crazy to think about. Wait, does he have a? Wait, does he need a level here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh nope, doesn't need a level. All right, they're tied. Oh, it's another memory counter. I see. And then decides to not do the. Oh, I guess he's thinking about doing the burn here. Well, he decides to not go for the burn. I think that's fine. I think it's fine to not go for the burn here. Okay, burn 1. That's a level. And then an additional 3 on top of that. 1. Okay, cancels. Okay. So yeah, damage didn't really stick, which is a little unfortunate. Oh, decides to burn on this one. Interesting. Not sure if I would have burned there, because it's already like you're already guaranteed not to kill him, so there's really no point. He can just heal with his level 3s. So probably would not have burned there if I was Kaguya player. But the thing is, like, if your damage had stuck earlier, like if you had fronted with the Ishigami level 2 and that damage stuck, then it's potentially the fact that Kaguya is actually swinging for lethal here on this turn. So even though you're so far behind, you know, that one extra attack, if that damage does stick, can be like a pretty big difference maker. So yeah, I'm just saying that, like, you gotta play to your outs. There's really no such thing as like a hopeless situation in Weiss unless the game is actually unwinnable. But like prior to level 3, most situations are comebackable, I would say. Like there's a lot of comebackable situations. Shockingly. Wait, what the heck just happened? Oh, Shinon Burn Brainstorm? Oh shoot, that's a card? That's so cool. Wait, what does this Kirito combo even do? I've actually never read this combo in my life. Okay, let's read the combo here. What combo do? Alright, on attack, if you have the climax, you have Alicization event in memory, which he does. You can mill the top card of your deck and burn equal to that +1. That cost +1? Oh, so it's like cost Musashi? Is that even good? I don't even think that's particularly good. Oh, but he just takes it. Okay, just takes the swing for 4. All right, that was last attack, right? He could have totally canceled it. He totally could have canceled that. That was actually shockingly winnable at the end there. Like, a lot of good stuff happened for the Kaguya player towards the end of that match to potentially make it so that I could see a world where the Kaguya player actually turned that around. But the problem, I think, was that the Kaguya player wasn't playing to win in the mid game. Like, they didn't prioritize 1-1 back row, where I would have prioritized it way earlier, and they also just didn't prioritize attacking and doing damage to keep the damage race closer. And yeah, so that I guess that's the takeaway from this game. You just play to win. If you play to win, you can come back from almost any circumstance in Weiss, because Weiss is really forgiving game in the sense of like the rubber banding of the deck will often pay out, and every situation there's always a situation where you could potentially either stick a lot of damage or cancel a lot of damage to bring the game a lot closer, even from like a very far distance. So yeah, but no, well, I mean, good on the SAO player. I think SAO player played that pretty much perfectly. I didn't think I remember any misplay from the player. Played that really well, milled out when needed to, compressed as much as possible. And yeah, I think it was just Kaguya player not having a great game, unfortunately, but also could have been playing a little bit more aggressively. Alright, thanks for watching this video, and hope you guys liked it. I will be doing more of these gameplay commentary feature matches now that there's another store that I'm going to on the weekdays. Hopefully that means twice as much content. I don't know if I'll be giving the commentary and doing this for every single match I record, because there's a lot, but I'll try to do the ones that are more interesting and the ones I can talk about more, I guess. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you see you on the next one. Peace.